Here we are, retail wrap number 7. So we're going to talk about a few things today. One of those being blockchain, which we talked about in episode number 1. We've got the blockchain guru from Drake speaking a bit later on. We're also going to talk about meal kits and how they're going and how they're actually a business. And one of the big things we're going to talk about in the digital aspect is the Coles and Ocado deal. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start off, what are we starting off with? Story on blockchain with Tim. So let's think back to episode number 1. Blockchain is a digital food ledger that allows every part of the supply chain to be documented. I've got some exciting news that we are going to partner up with IBM in the Food Trust program. We are the first supermarket chain in Australia to be doing an IBM blockchain program. I'm not going to bore you with the details. Let's speak to one of the professional actors from Drake's, and Tim Cartwright is going to really tell us what blockchain's all about. Here we are. We have tracked down Drake's National General Manager of Fresh Foods, Mr. Tim Cartwright.
JP.
And can you tell us how we're going to be using blockchain in Drake's supermarkets?
Yeah, for sure, JP. Look, blockchain, for people that don't know, it's a way of using math and cryptography to have a decentralized database of values, which people can go on there and check authenticity of product.
Tim, so what are some other reasons that blockchain would be beneficial for the supermarket environment?
Look, for us, the reason we've got on board is, one, yes, look, blockchain is the future globally, but for us, it was all about traceability to start with. Food safety for us is really important. Our customers expect their food to be safe, and with blockchain, we're able to actually show that our food is safe and make sure that we are doing all the right things to capture that information.
So a real world example of that, and anyone in Australia would have heard about the strawberries incident, the needle and the strawberries. How would that work in this environment if it was on the blockchain?
Any food scare is really critical to have the information and timely information to be able to trace exactly what has happened and where the causes come from. So for us, it does take time to do that. So for a food recall, and if there is a food safety incident, what we do, we actually just take all stock off show. And to be honest, all that stock eventually gets dumped until we can actually find out where the issue has occurred. But with blockchain technology, within seconds, we can actually identify the product, where it's come from, and identify the cause straight away. It's amazing technology.
So in the example of the needles in the strawberries, we could have found out within seconds exactly what farm it was from?
What farm it was, where it was packed, who packed the product as well. For us, it's transparency. End game is transparency for our consumers. So we actually want to be able to showcase what we are doing. We're sourcing product from, sustainable sources, ethically sourced, and country of origin and provenance is really important. So a consumer can actually go on and say, wow, this product here is local. It comes from a farm, down at Mount Gambier, for example. And for us, we've partnered with another great South Australian family-owned business, Thomas Foods International, and with them, we're actually running this blockchain pilot with the Angus Pure Beef. We put our hand on our heart and we have the best beef in supermarkets by far. It's Angus Pure Beef 2017 Grand Champion Beef Award, but this year actually goes the extra step. One, not only is the food safe, our consumers will actually be able to go on and see exactly how that animal was raised, that it was actually cared for, and the provenance of where that product's come from.
How does it work for me as a consumer?
The pilot is with beef, but with any product, what we want to do is have QR code. So a customer, if they want, can go on, scan the QR code, and we'll give them a list of information about that product. So they can actually go in and have full transparency about how that product was managed and maintained and how it was cared for.
I've got to ask, what sort of person is actually wanting to know the full traceability of the product?
What we're seeing is millennials really care about where their product comes from, where it's sourced from, and is it sustainable for the future.
So Tim, when can we see this blockchain hitting the shelves?
Okay, so the blockchain is happening right now.
Okay.
And customers will be able to scan that QR code very shortly.
As you can see, pretty comprehensive review from Tim. We want to show our customers that we're ethically sourcing all of our products, so we've got nothing to hide. And I think it's a great step forward. Okay, let's talk a little bit about 3D food printing. This is not a new phenomenon. It's been around for quite a while. In fact, South Australia has its own Derenberg Cube, which if anyone's ever been to South Australia, one of the best places to eat in the world. They actually do one of their dishes for a 3D print, and it's their dessert, fantastic dish. We've seen announcements of 3D printing of food using mince and offal. It costs about $250 a kilo, but that price will come down with the mass production. So we'll see how that goes. There's plenty of companies working on 3D printing, and they're printing lots of vegan meats. Most recently, Netherlands startup Up Printing Food are taking to food waste. Old bread, fruit and vegetables and pureeing them up. Then they turn them into 3D print into shapes, pretty little shapes as you can see here. And they actually look quite cool. Once they're printed, the food is baked, dehydrated, and it creates a crunchy structure with a long shelf life. How supermarkets could work with 3D printers is the reality is that we would like to make sure that we put less in the bins and more into our consumer's stomach, which would help with the circular economy. I am sure that every single person watching this has had some form of Milkit offer, whether it's a voucher or a free food or a free kit. The interesting part about the free kit is you actually have to give up your credit card details. Don't give me a free kit and take my credit card details at the same time. It's just not acceptable. And HelloFresh and Marley Spoon are the largest players in the Australian meal kit with over 150 meal kit operations around the world. And there has been some casualties. In Australia, about 1.5% of households have purchased either a HelloFresh or a Marley Spoon, with HelloFresh representing sales of 126.5 million in 2017. So 2017 was the first year that HelloFresh reported making some money of $5.4 million in Australia after launching in 2012. In Australia, Marley Spoon delivered 688,000 orders in 2018, recording a 62% growth on previous year. And the company, which started in Germany in 2014, reported a full year loss of $64.8 million with a total revenue of $145.8 million. Interesting business model. I guess you don't need to make money these days. HelloFresh and Marley Spoon have seemingly taken Australia by storm, but just how sustainable is a meal kit subscription model? Research firm Second Measure reports that nearly half the subscribers on meal kit services cancel their subscription within a month, and only 20% stay for longer than 6 months, and 15% stay for a year. So that's a pretty big drop-off rate in a subscription-based model. I'm pretty sure Netflix doesn't have that problem. One of the big claims as well is that the consumer is throwing less away in their home. Now, we have had some stats in the past about how much people are actually throwing away. It is billions of dollars goes into landfill of produce, so maybe this is a good thing for the environment. One of the biggest announcements in the digital world is that Coles and Ocado have secured a deal moving forward for Coles online delivery to launch a new online shopping fulfillment centre in Melbourne and Sydney. Ocado will install and maintain equipment which includes 1,000 robots in each centre, as well as provide them with a smart platform technology. My mate Steve expects that the partnership is going to boost Coles online sales by $1 billion and lead to improved profit margins. I could see how this might be the future. And Ocado have some very good success overseas. They just need volume. That's how their model works. Smaller range going into it. These warehouses cost anywhere from $150 to $250 million. So they're big investments. I guess that's making a stance on what you're doing for the future. So Coles has looked to partner up with Ocado. So in wrapping things up for Retail Wrap number 7, some interesting topics there. Don't forget to DM us if you want to have a chat about it. If there's any topics that you'd like to talk about. We're quite happy to talk about anything. Most of the subjects we're talking about have come from our inbox, so we're really happy to keep that going. And thanks for your support.
We are the supermarket of choice. Choice, mate.
Pin, Tim. So Tim, you might want to be able to, Tim. Can you, Tim?
Sorry.
Tim.
I want to be transparent about what we're doing to showcase that, you know.
So we are really excited to be popcorn. We are really excited to be teaming up